Hey guys, Paul Morrow here again, doing a big news recap for Tuesday, 7 October. Here we go. So, first of all, you can't say that date without acknowledging the fact that we're at the 2-year anniversary of the horrific attacks in Israel by Hamas. And, today I did the 5, and I was walking out, and there are about 150 pro-Hamas protesters out in front of Fox, screaming, making all kinds of noise. Now, look, they have their First Amendment right. Of course, they can demonstrate. But really, on the day of the attacks, the anniversary of the initial attacks, that's what you want to pin your quote unquote resistance to, that event. And what's the gripe? Now we've been yelling for a ceasefire. You got a ceasefire. They were yelling for a homeland. The Trump administration's closer than anybody ever has been to getting them a genuine functioning homeland without the yoke of Hamas on the Palestinian people. And yet they're out there protesting like crazy. And I got to tell you something, which is just such a salient aspect of this that I got to bring up because it's a larger context. All you need is one demonstrator to step into the street. The cop comes over and says, get behind the barricade, and boom. All these demonstrators and media come running over with their cameras like all of a sudden this is going to be some enormous controversial moment. No, it's no big deal. It's the cops saying get back behind a barricade. You can't walk into the street and block the vehicle traffic. But that's the difference between what goes on in New York and what's going on in Chicago and Portland. And that's not against the Chicago cops or the Portland cops because they're just following their orders. They know what to do. They can handle demonstrations as well. I'm sure they've done a million of them. It's the mayors. In New York here, Adams, to his credit, is letting the NYPD do what they know how to do better than anybody. As a result, it doesn't get out of hand. But yet, out there, the mayors just can't countenance that. And there's, of course, you see the chaos that erupts, and then they blame Donald Trump. I got to go to something else that, to me, these days is very representative of the Democratic Party, and that's this guy, Jay Jones, who's running for Virginia AG, written all these horrific things about his opponents, political opponents, about their kids, and about cops. Until the Democrats will repudiate this guy in the same way that they need to repudiate Mamdani, they own him. Then he's your candidate, then that's who you are these days. And nobody has the guts to repudiate this guy who shouldn't be the candidate. And I'm going to go to my last story, because this is somebody else that you're not hearing anything about, and I can't understand why, because this should be a very big story. A guy named Gery was caught on Sunday with 200 explosives, a Molotov cocktail, and he was looking, it looks like, to detonate at the church. Why Sunday? Because it's the Red Mass. What is that? It kicks off the Supreme Court term every year. The Supreme Court justices generally go. Guy got arrested after a scuffle, and according to the court records, which you're not seeing reported, he is anti-Catholic, anti-Jewish, anti-SCOTUS, and anti-ICE. Why is this not a big story? Another lefty looking to do violence. I'm Paul Morrow for the Ops Desk.